How do you feel about getting a job that doesn't give you holidays or time off?
I feel about getting a job without holidays yeah, that kind of sucks because I would like to spend the holidays with my family, but I think it would be nice to have the option to work overtime on holidays without being forced to work there on holidays. Um, yeah, I wouldn't like that at all.
If I got a job that didn't give me holidays off, I would probably be sad because I like to spend time with my family during that time. I wouldn't want to take the job very easily.
How do you feel about being a counselor to more than one person at a time?
I'm not sure how great of advice I'd be able to give multiple people at the same time, but uh, depends on how many people. If there's too many people, I might, go a little crazy, like worrying about them and, try and help them. But yeah, I mean, that's part of being a friend is, helping them and listening to them. And having multiple friends at a time is a really good thing. So
I think that's a good thing because it's helping me while I'm helping them at the same time, but it could be overwhelming. But it's always nice to help as many people as you can.
How do you feel about getting a job that doesn't pay?
Well, it definitely depends on what the job is. And if it's like for a nonprofit that I go out and help people, then I definitely consider it. If it's like a part-time thing where I can actually go out other times and make money, so that I can do this thing. Yeah, depends on what it is, I guess.
Well, I take a job because I need the money, so that would not suit me unless it's, something that I'm doing to serve someone. But if it's a job, I think I should be paid for it.
How do you feel about taking your lunch breaks with the same people and constantly sharing your food with them?
I don't really have a problem sharing food unless it's like something I really like. Otherwise, I just eat it all. Um, I'm really not that bad. I mean, unless it's chocolate, then of course I'm gonna eat it all. I'm not sharing it.
I think I would have to be pretty close with someone to want to share my food with them every day and be around them all the time.
How do you feel about having two full-time jobs for the rest of your life?
I feel really sad and depressed and angry because I'm definitely a family guy. I love my family, and so being able to spend time with them is important to me, and having two full times will not allow me to do that.
I think the only reason somebody should ever take two full-time jobs is if they absolutely had to, if it was a necessity.
How do you feel about spending all your money on the people you love?
I don't know. You might get used to it, and it might be fun, but at the same time, I might want to bring my own stuff, and I spend my own money on it, so it might get annoying after a while.
They're gonna say good night about that. That's the point. So it's not my money. It's definitely a blessing that God has given to me to have a job or to get those resources that I have. And so being able to spend it on those that I love is definitely something I would do.
I feel more than willing to make sacrifices for those that I love. And if those sacrifices, for whatever reason, include spending my money on them, I'm okay with that.
Looking back, how has that advice that your parents have given you affected your life?
Like I'm here at college on the advice of my parents, and I'm going out and experiencing new things on their advice, and I don't know. It's just them always being there and being an example more than giving advice has really been what has gotten me here. So.
Dad has given to me has definitely affected my life really good. It's given me purpose and it's helped me to decide what is best. He's a good guy, good example, good role model. And so being able to get advice from him, I know is good and able to lead me down a good road. And so I'm definitely all about it.
How has the advice that my parents have given me affected my life? I think that my parents' best advice came through their example, and I saw them make sacrifices for us and for each other, and their example has influenced me more than I think anything else could have influenced me. And I think because of them, I want a family, and I'm willing to make sacrifices for it. Um, and I know where true happiness will come from.
What's the one thing you appreciate the most about your parents' parenting style?
That my parents, they're both really quiet actually. And so they do, like, I've learned a lot more from them through their example and just watching them work hard. Like my dad, he works all day, and there's some days where, like during harvest season, where I never see him because he's up before I am, and then he gets home after I go to sleep. And so he's just such hardworking, and my mom is like the exact same way. Um, and so yeah, it's just taught me to be a good person and to work hard.
I appreciate the love that they have for me. That no matter what I do, they're always there to support and to care about me, even if I make mistakes. So having that knowledge, just even though I make mistakes like anybody else does, having that love to support always helps me to pick up my spirits and to keep going, to keep trying.
My parents had a parenting style that was, well, they believed in consistency in pretty much everything. They wouldn't ask us to do something or follow a rule that they weren't willing to follow. And they were always very diligent about everything, about the gospel, about the way they spent their money. They were also very careful to make sure that they spent time with each other, and they made sure that I knew that they loved each other. I never really had, because of that, I think I never really had doubts about the things that they were telling me because I saw them live it.
What roles have your parents played in your life?
Well, I mean, both my parents, they both have like pretty big families, lots of brothers and sisters, and so it's like, they've always taught me to try and get along with my brothers and sister. And my mom, she does talk about how when she was younger, her and her sisters would fight all the time, and how she didn't want that for us, me and my sister. So yeah.
My parents have definitely been influential in my life and are great examples and taught me many things. I think that when I look to what I want to be and how I want to raise my family, I think a lot about how my mom and dad have raised me, and that's how I want to be, and I'm grateful for that.
It makes sense. Having two full-time jobs is like one for getting money to support your family, and one as being a good dad, good father, good husband. Definitely makes sense. So I would definitely do that. Like I said, I want to spend time with them, and so I'm all about that job. And the other one being spending money on my family. Again, those that I care about, my kids, my wife, I will spoil them. They will feel loved.
My parents played a very important role in my life. My father was an excellent provider, and he was also a very good teacher, and I really looked up to my father. My mother was in every way a caregiver, and she was always concerned for what was best for us and our overall well-being. And mutually, my parents supported one another in the roles that they had as my parents. Another important role I think to note is that they were very instrumental in showing me and giving me an idea of what it is like, or the way that my heavenly parents love me. And I was able many times throughout my childhood to feel the love of my heavenly Father through my earthly parents.
I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Thank you for all you do.